The article our group was chosen to study, the genomic signature of an avian Lilliput effect across the KPG extinction, suggests that the rate of evolution was permanently changed after an asteroid caused a mass extinction on Earth, leaving birds as the only descendants of dinosaurs. Scientists Jacob Berv and Daniel Field have been studying the ancient genetic evolution of birds, looking into whether a Cretaceous-Paleogene boundary, also called a KPG event, such as an asteroid, has accelerated the rate of genetic evolution in birds. This has led to the rocks and clocks debate, in which scientists observe a discrepancy between age estimates from fossil record and those generated by molecular clocks, or the rate of DNA sequence changes. Berv and Field have seen that there is indeed a large discrepancy between rocks and clocks. The rocks date the oldest avian fossils at around 66 million years old, but the clocks date modern birds tens of thousands of years earlier than that, with up to a 100 million year difference. So where does the discrepancy stem from? They believe clocks overestimate an age because they assume constant rates of evolution, which would create a drastic difference from the rocks. In order to figure out if this discrepancy really did account for all of the lost time, Berv and Field investigated life history traits in correlation with substitution rate. Life history traits are the traits that are viewed by an organism that will significantly impact its level of fitness. Specifically, they looked at age at sexual maturity, incubation time, number of eggs laid per year, mass at hatching, growth rate, maximum recorded longevity, and total metabolic rate. From here, they were able to determine that all of the life history traits, with the exception of metabolic rate, were closely correlated with substitution rate. A partial correlation could be made between total metabolic rate and substitution rate. There were a lot of uncertainties about whether the KPG extinction had any effect on the life history of species. In order to clear up any uncertainty and come up with evidence to back up a correlation between the KPG extinction and the shaping of extant avian diversity, scientists had to create an experiment. They hypothesized that the KPG extinction caused an acceleration in avian molecular clocks. Since the life history of a species includes so many aspects such as age of sexual maturity, incubation time, number of eggs laid per year, mass at hatching, growth rate, maximum lifespan, and total metabolic rate, the scientists focused on body size, which is a strong predictor for many life history traits and is easy to analyze. The results of this experiment proved that their hypothesis was correct. The KPG extinction caused molecular clocks in birds to accelerate. A phenomenon that is very common after a mass extinction is that there is an association that the survivors have decreased body size. This is known as the Lilliput Effect. It is hard to observe the Lilliput Effect in clades because it requires detailed fossil record immediately before and after a mass extinction. The Lilliput Effect implies two general predictions for the hidden period of increased substitution rates in clades. The first is that small bodies are associated with faster substitution rates, and the second is that survivors of a mass extinction are characterized by reduced size relative to their pre-extinction relatives. In this experiment, scientists used the theory of the Lilliput effect to see if the KPG extinction contributed to discrepancies between fossil records and molecular clocks. The authors studied a long-traced avian family tree and noticed an obvious link between body size and rates of genetic evolution. Small birds evolve faster than large ones. The Lilliput effect process says that the KPG extinction contributed to the difference between molecular clocks and fossil records. Based on Berv and Field's research, we have determined that human activities could trigger an altered pattern of evolution.